Zak Ciotti here, and I'd like to share with you a little behind the scenes, a 2-camera interview shoot, and how we set it up, what that looks like, but not only all that technical stuff, also how I got this gig. And roll the intro. We got to film at the Oxford University Press. John and I are pushing our equipment through the Oxford University Press. We're about to set up for a little interview for a company called Wise Owl. They're located in the UK, and it is as quiet as a library in here. I brought my young friend John. I've taken him on some lengthy documentary shoots previously, and I've got to say that one of the best attributes an assistant can have is that they take good care of your equipment and they listen to your requests. Nevertheless, an opportunity has arisen with someone across the pond over in the UK at Wise Owl. Even though this video isn't sponsored, I do believe they make some really cool explainer videos, and because I don't consider myself a full-on animator, I have no problem pointing you to their website. Check them out. So my new buddy over there said, we need to make a testimonial. Zach, can you help us out? And in the process, I began offering consulting. And I find that anytime you want to provide something helpful, it will provide you more opportunities and build a greater relationship of trust between you. So first of all, let's take a look at how fast we did this. Pretty shucky darn fast, right? I find that it is incredibly helpful to always take 2 people, no matter what the shoot is. There's a liability of having that much heavy equipment in places where there's a lot of glass or there's other people around that you might smack something into. You just want to be careful. Frequently, I want to do a track motion backwards where I can't look behind me and in front of me where the camera is. So I need someone to spot me so I don't start rolling backwards down the stairs somewhere. When you own your own business or you're a freelancer, I find that it is incredibly helpful for you to diversify your sources of income. The opportunities to come to me are indeed very diverse. Please hit subscribe, click that bell, because there are some really exciting bits of information that I can't yet tell you that are coming out soon. Some very interesting directions that I'm being taken. So let's take a little tour of the typical 2-camera setup in Boulder Rush. So one of the things that I did for making the documentary last year was getting the Aperture 300D, and it's super, super bright. Blinded forever. It comes with a Bowens mount where you can attach Bowens mount items like this one. The diode is absolutely massive. Another thing that we're looking at is the fact that this is a lot more like those big tungsten lights with a ballast. The ballast is actually attached way over there to the wall, and this is just the control. In the past, what I was doing, thank you for enduring this, John, you're doing fabulous. In fact, if you could turn around the camera so we could see John for a second here, let me show you. This is John, like one of the best people that you could have on set. Awesome, look at him go. And I love this shirt. Can we talk about Stranger Things again? When I'm doing my typical 2-camera interview, which is the best way to do an interview, I really only use 2 lights. The cameras that I'm using are 2 GH5s. The whole thing can be powered by just 1 battery, and that's plugged in with an adapter to the GH5. I do have 1 extra battery up here on this monitor. The slider that I use is the GMV slider. The Rhino slider was really overhyped because of the fact that it required multiple batteries, multiple things that needed to be charged. If you wanted to pan, then you needed to charge that little panning module. If you wanted to move back and forth, there's a different battery used for that. This one only uses 1 battery, and yes, it's the same battery that I use on my monitors that I could use as an alternative V-mount connection. This is the same battery that I use on the clamp light that's way up there on the wall. These batteries are everything. The thing that I always have to show off that my friend down in Texas introduced me to, Olympia cart. Look how small this shrinks into. Look, 6 inches wide now. Stuff this in the back of my Kia Soul, pop it open. I can put everything on here. It just took 2 people to bring in everything in this room. As a lot of people know, a lot of DSLRs will not record past about 26 minutes. DSLR cameras that Panasonic came up with allow you to even hot swap. You can actually fill up 1 card, and when it switches over to the other card, while you're still recording, you can pull out the card that's full, swap it with a new one, and continue recording. As long as you remember to format it before you put it back in the camera. One of my biggest pet peeves is having to work with batteries. You know, the Duracell, the Energizer, the little AA's, AAA's that start rolling around in your bags. You can't tell which one was used. And the fact that Panasonic came out with an XLR adapter that doesn't require battery, that uses battery from the camera, either from the little battery you put in there or the adapter for the bigger battery. I typically have a shotgun mic like the one I'm using right now in this setup. It's using phantom power. Yes, it's draining the little battery a little bit faster, but there are definitely ways around it. I've never been afraid to buy something secondhand. Even if you're taking immaculate care of equipment, just by it being open out of the box, it does depreciate over time. And the same goes for most technology. My new buddy across the pond was so easy to work with, and so was the person that I was interviewing. That interviewee had never done this before, and as I encouraged her to smile with my own smile in response, she began to smile and look a lot more at ease. I recently watched a short documentary that a local documentarian made, and I asked him, this man's in his 80s, so very experienced, how long do you typically interview? He said 20 minutes. I've been caught interviewing people to like this day. I'm still interviewing some people. I swear there's some people out there that I'm still interviewing right now. They're like Skyping in with them right now. Oh, so this was a great opportunity to stick to the questions, not go too off script, and still come out with a great experience. One of the coolest things is the fact that online, you can find gigs all over the place. You just need to know where to look. There are things like productionhub.com, where I got one gig that led to another gig, that led to multiple gigs, that led to lots of different things. Story Hunter, Stage 32, even Craigslist. If you're careful, we'll talk about that sometime. So go look up online where you can find the best paid and free freelancer websites so that when you hear of something locally happening near your city, you can provide your skills right away. That's my behind the scenes that I've got for you today. Please subscribe, like the video, click the bell if you want to hear more. Be creative. Go do the brave thing today. Thanks for tuning in. You're wonderful people. If you're watching this, it means the world to me. Right here. You. Again, if you have any questions about behind the scenes methods or how to find opportunities, I will be sharing more, but please ask your questions, comment below. I would love to hear directly from you, and I will respond, I promise. And this is all part of this learning and growing process as an independent filmmaker. And I will see you next time.